This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex and I'll send you the link.
All right, we're live.
Everybody there.
We got 3 people watching.
All right. Hey, 3 people. Give us 3 likes real quick.
Yeah, please.
I'll go be number 4 and give us a 4th like. Why not?
So, guys, how's everyone doing? Let us know where you're watching from. Please, you're the only couple here, so put your questions in the chat, and we can really do a deep dive. I'm sure
Basically a one-on-one session for the first person who asks a question.
Yeah, seriously. It's going to get up to 50 or 60 people probably. So
Usually-
put in your, it's already at 6. It's already doubled.
It's gonna go again.
Let's go. What's going on in real estate, guys? We're buying a building in Connecticut. That's new. I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm very excited about that. That was we could talk about that, McKenna. That was an interesting deal where we flew out there, tried to poke holes in it, couldn't, decided we were going to buy it, raised the money while we were still in the airport in Connecticut.
Yep.
Had the deal all done, and then 3 or 4 days later, our partner had something happen with the bank, and he had a margin call, and we had to find the money again.
Yeah. So we had to raise $700,000 on something that's only going to be $350,000.
and you were gone on vacation, so I did it, and it was tough. That losing the momentum when you think you've got something done. I was not ready to jump back into, even though it only took 1 call the first time. I really wasn't ready to jump back into let's get the money mode, and we had to send off a wire for the deposit and stuff like that. So it took me the better part of a day and a half making lots and lots of calls to put it together. So you actually raised 150 of it pretty quick.
Yeah, we lost our 350, guys.
The next couple of days.
Yeah, we lost the 350 that we'd already raised, and then probably that same day we got another commitment for 150, or maybe it was next day. And then it took another 2 days to get the remaining 200. Woo! I was sweating bullets, guys. It's probably the best deal of the year. Hey, Adon.
Hold on. I'm leaving now.
We are at the El Conquistador, and we might be moving rooms here. We're trying to find a good spot. We're going to shoot a promotional video for a mastermind we're going to do next year. So we're going to have Dave Steck come out tomorrow and shoot a mastermind promo video with us.
Who's Dave Steck?
Dave Steck.
Guys, this is top secret
Dave Steck is my mentor.
Yeah,
our mentor.
Unreleased info that the 18 people that are here are getting. No one else is going to hear about.
Don't tell anybody. No one else can know this. Just you and McKenna and the 18 of us. That's it.
And we're not going to talk about it again for like 2 months. So keep that on your radar. But it's
Robert doesn't know how to keep a secret.
I don't keep secrets, guys.
Yeah.
I'm an open book. I just tell people what we're going to do and how we do it, and then we do it. That's it.
That's the problem.
It's not a problem.
They keep something.
That's right.
I mean, this place is phenomenal, McKenna. Holy mackerel! I've seen it. I've even been here after Hurricane Maria. If no one asks any questions, I've got a story about being in the room to buy this place, the El Conquistador. Right after I arrived at the island, it was going to trade, and I got invited to possibly buy it. And I had no business in the world sitting in that meeting to hear about buying this thing for like.
How'd you get in that room?
Somebody heard that I was buying hotels on the island.
And
I was buying hotels on the island. I had just closed on one that was like $1 million. And so they're like, hey, if he can close on one for $1 million, certainly he could close on one for $65 million. So I go take the meeting down in Condado and sit with the broker and sit with the people who are listing it. It was BlackRock selling it at the time, I think, and they wanted to close fast, and you could tell it was a great deal. But I had no business being in the room, but it was fun to go to. And hey, I got to sit in and listen to what was going to go on with the massive purchase, and then it sold to a local family who then traded it. I think they bought it for 50 or 55 million, and then they traded it almost immediately for like 85 or 100 million.
Wow.
Within the next 6 months. So
Did they really?
And now it's got to be a $400 million place again. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I've never actually been. I've only seen it from a distance. But, guys, it is the most gorgeous, breathtaking property. Right on the cliff, private beach, even though beaches aren't private in Puerto Rico. But there's no way to get
Well,
there.
they have a private island, I guess, that they
do
ferry
they?
people to. In this room that I'm at, I can see the little ferry come in and out every once in a while, still taking people to and from the island. Still light outside.
Manny Move says he'd love to get in on that deal.
Which deal?
I think he's talking about the Connecticut deal. Manny, so we could talk about it. We talked about raising more capital, but it's friends and family only. But you're an Apex, so you're friends and family.
Manny's been friends and family for a long time. He comments on our stuff.
Oh, he's talking about Puerto Rico. He wants to buy the El Conquistador.
Oh yeah, well that's come and gone. That was years ago.
Yeah,
that El Conquistador deal, that came and gone. So
he also asked, what's going on with the ESJ bankruptcy case? Last I heard, they were taking bids. Do you know what ESJ is?
Yeah, I know the
El San Juan,
the El San Juan. They've been moving through those. I have a friend. Raul Villanueva is a Apex member, and his brother-in-law has been selling those units. So I think that it's already gone through the bankruptcy case. They've been selling off lots and lots of those units. So
they like condoized it out.
It was always condo timeshare, and
Okay.
and then I don't know exactly what happened, but there was a big tranche of units that they've sold off, hundreds and hundreds of them, I think. So
those are some beautiful properties, though.
Maybe I should say tens and tens. Hundreds and hundreds makes it seem bigger than it is.
Yeah.
But lots and lots of them for sure.
I mean, I feel like that's probably a pretty good place to own property. But with these types of condos and timeshares, guys, the pricing I feel like never pencils out. If you want to make money on it for Airbnb, they just eat you with HOA fees and maintenance fees and resort fees, and you end up with nothing. But when I
looked at the ESJ,
yeah,
you could buy a hotel room you could probably buy one a few years ago for $250,000. I think they're trading for around $350 to $450 now, and I'm really talking about. I'm in a hotel room, but a hotel room that's half of the size of what I'm sitting in right here.
Wow.
Like
no kitchen, no nothing.
No kitchen, small bathroom, maybe 300 square feet, maybe 400 square feet, but very small rooms. And then HOA's $400 a month. They have rules on, and I don't know if ESJ does. They may just allow Airbnb straight, but a lot of places will have rules on how much Airbnb you can do. Some of them will even make you rent back through them. I'm not sure if ESJ did that, but you're right. It didn't pencil out. For me, it just didn't work.
I feel like the way those things work is if you want to own it to use it yourself, and then you rent it out just to almost break even or only lose a little bit of money.
Only lose a little bit, but you have a great place to go and stay during the summer.
Yeah. And actually, guys, here's how I would do that. If you're really interested in buying an Airbnb for you to use, like I was just in Victoria, Canada, gorgeous, gorgeous city. I'm looking at apartments to buy because that's all I do ever. And to make it work, they have these like 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos for $1.2 million. The Airbnb for like $200-300 a night. So you definitely don't make money on the Airbnb. What I think you do is put $1 million into some cash flowing asset. You know, we've got a friend who does stocks, and he'll pay you 8% on your money, guaranteed, no downside. Use that to pay your mortgage, and then run Airbnb on top of that, and you're probably not going to lose money. Is how I think you would do that.
And it'll appreciate over time.
And it'll appreciate over time.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't spend that $1 million that you've got paying your mortgage, you're going to end up with a condo and those assets at the end of the day. So it's kind of like getting a renter, but it's $1 million instead working for you. I think that's how you'd have to do these luxury resort buildings that really don't pencil out unless you really want to personally use it. And guys, it's just so different for an investment where you're trying to make money and something personal where you're trying to use it and you want to live in it. You can't even use the same mindset, because you should not live where you want to invest, and you shouldn't invest where you want to live, because you're going to be unhappy with both. You got to just pick one.
Yeah.
You know, if you want a great investment, that's great. It's probably in a bad area that you don't want to live in, and you're going to make a lot of money. Or if you want to live in something, it's just going to be too expensive. You won't make any money, but you get to live there, and you get to have a happy life. So keep that in mind. We've got some questions here, Dad. Let me throw.
Yeah, let's run through
them. How do you guys manage long distance properties that you own for rentals or Airbnb? So this Connecticut deal we're talking about, that's a great example. You want to dig into that, and then we'll talk about Airbnb as well?
Yeah, and we pretty much would answer it the same way, because in both cases we hire a property manager who's local, right? And we don't do a lot of long distance Airbnbs. I think a long distance Airbnb for me would be having some properties that are on the west side of the island, say Rincon, when I'm living in San Juan. That's long distance because I'm a few hours away. I can't get there to solve problems. I hired a manager who was there day to day operating the property. And the same thing we're going to do for Connecticut. We're obviously not going to be in Connecticut for the day to day operations. So the property manager is going to handle putting all the tenants in there, collecting all of the rents, managing the problem tenants whenever they come along, managing all of the repairs whenever they come along, because there's always going to be things that happen. Toilets get stopped up, gas lines break, who knows? I mean, and in Connecticut, a whole new set of problems when it snows in the winter and things like that, where we have to shovel snow in the parking lot, or he's going to set up all of that stuff. And we manage the management. So we'll meet, and we spoke with him today, McKenna and I did. We'll meet with him probably close to daily as we purchase this property and start to set up the systems. And it'll eventually get down to where we maybe have a weekly update meeting, and we just go through for an hour and talk about what's going on. And this is a small building. It's only 13 units. It's not going to be something that's super difficult to manage. It's in good shape when we buy it. But we talked about that today with them. Like, anytime you buy something, almost immediately you can expect things to start to go wrong. And that's what we're prepping for. We're prepared for the pipes to freeze up in the winter. We're prepared for a roof to spring a leak. In this case, the roof was put on last year, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But those kind of things are going to happen, and you have to be prepared to take care of them. If we needed to, for some reason, to fly out there, McKenna's 3 hours away. I'm about 6 hours away. Well, I don't know how. Maybe there's a direct flight from Puerto Rico. I was thinking fly to Orlando and then fly to Connecticut.
Probably not, but let me check.
But I'm guessing that we would treat this long-term rental property the same way we would treat a short-term rental property. We would hire a management company, and we'd manage the management. And I don't like or love long-distance deals. So when I decided to invest in Puerto Rico, I moved to Puerto Rico so that I could be near what I knew that I was going to do. I knew we were going to invest millions of dollars. And so I had a good reason to be here. And we just decided we were going to leave our business in Florida that we had running for a couple decades and come and start the new business and be in proximity to it. That's my MO. Lots of people now do this virtual stuff, and they're really good at it. And I think as time goes on, we'll probably end up having other properties in other places. Like I'm looking at Argentina. I'm looking at some other places. We want to go to Japan and possibly buy something.
That's just for fun, guys.
That
If you want
would
to
be
be in
just
on
for
a
fun, but it'll
deal,
still have to be managed. It'll,
yeah. And
and we'll still
if you
do
want to
it.
go to Japan, though, guys, we're not going to make any money. There's no return. It's just to own something in Japan. So,
And you can go and stay there.
and you can go and stay
so
there.
the idea there is to buy something before we get there. And instead of renting an Airbnb, we fly to the place that we bought and we kind of do like an unboxing. We open the door, see what we've got. Hopefully we're able to stay there. If not, we'll go get a hotel. We'll fix it up over a few week period of time. And then we'll have a place that we can go to and from. If we can rent it out in between, that'll be great. If we partner up with some people that also want to use it, that would probably be ideal. You know, ideally, we wouldn't be trying to even cash flow it. We'd just try to make it nice enough that it's fun to go to. And
Yes.
then every couple of years, we'd fly over and we'd be in the Orient.
Yep. Paula says, hello, is it legal to build an off-the-grid home in Puerto Rico? Would you recommend putting solar in short-term rentals? What is the ballpark for a solar-powered home? And what are your thoughts on prefabs? Good questions.
Really good questions. So yes, you can build off-grid, depending on the zoning that you're looking at. I like solar. I've got it on my house. I think a solar and a generator is probably ideal if you're going to completely be off-grid, because solar, so my house is fully solar and we're pretty much completely off-grid. But if the power goes out for any period of time, like if the power's out for 24 hours straight, our power will go out in the middle of the night at about 4 or 5 in the morning, unless we're super careful. Like we have to know the power's out, which when you have solar, you don't necessarily know, and then stop running ACs in every room and just get it down to a refrigerator and maybe a ceiling fan, and then we can keep the power on for until it becomes sunlight again. If we don't do that, at about 3:30 or 4 in the morning, we stop having any power at all until the sun comes back up. So I think if you're going to be completely off grid, invest in both. You can mainly use solar, but then you'd have a generator in case you needed it.
What do you think the ballpark is for a solar powered home? And I'm guessing just the solar part.
Yeah. So, and she's talking about prefab homes and off-grid stuff. So I'm thinking a tiny home probably.
Yeah, out in the jungle.
And we've looked at this, guys. We've upcycled shipping containers. We've looked at other Chinese built tiny home type. They look basically like a shipping container, but they're brand new, built in the factory. They fly over, you pop them up, you put solar on them. On something like that that's 400 square feet or maybe 600 square feet, I think you can put solar on it for 10 grand or less.
And that's just the solar.
That's just solar, right?
Yep.
Not a Tesla battery, not, you know. So that means if you don't, and if you don't invest in the battery, which is going to be more, then you definitely don't have power at night. So,
and you got to get the
a
battery.
generator for something like that doesn't have to cost a ton of money either. But you're probably investing $10,000 to $15,000 solar and batteries and maybe a small generator, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's for like a pretty small place.
Or you could tie into the grid and then just run off solar and then use the grid as a backup at night. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
We like prefab houses. I have found that they're not that much cheaper than just building regular. Is that what you found too, Dad?
Yes. Yeah. Generally speaking, if you're building a factory built home and you're going to bring it, especially bringing it to the island, paying the taxes to get it here, and then putting it wherever you're going to put it, you're going to spend about the same price per square foot as if you just built it. And I haven't found somebody who's able to do it at scale yet. So we've been looking for someone who could build these things in a factory and do it at scale, because then we might invest in a development where we try and do a couple hundred of them. But so far, I think you're buying one-offs. Maybe you can get 2 or 3 at a time, but you're not going to buy 50 of them at a time. And not that you're asking that, Paula. I get that, but just the way my mind works is, okay, we could do it once and that's great, but could we do it 40 or 50 times quickly? because that's where it would beat just building ground up. If it's going to cost the same, but I can do it super fast, then I'm good with that. Time is money.
Guys, put your questions in the chat. Let us know. We're happy to talk about anything real estate related. How about that Florida State game? Whew, John,
Florida State beat Alabama.
Yeah, you didn't see it?
I saw the score.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what just happened there? Because
Not
wasn't
only did we
Alabama
beat
ranked
Alabama,
like number 3 or something?
We crushed. Yeah, it was 31-17, I think.
Yeah.
32-17. We crushed them. I mean, we played a dominant game. Huge offensive plays, huge defensive plays. We had one miffed punt where they recovered a punt. But guys, I've been saying all offseason to anyone I talk about football to, which is like 3 people, Florida State's a wild card. We have a whole new team, new coach, our new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. I think of our 22 starters, it's like 15 of them are new from the transfer portal or freshmen.
Really?
I mean, it's a completely new team. So people were like, Alabama's going to crush them. Maybe, maybe not. But I knew that we were a wild card, and we came out there and we looked dominant against number 8 Alabama too. So hopefully Alabama crushes whoever they play next week and really cements that we're a top 10 team.
Well, and hopefully you guys continue on a good streak to start the season. Who do you play this week?
I don't even know. John, do you know? I'm pulling up the FSU game. We're playing.
Isn't it odd, man, that it's already football season, you guys?
Oh, I know. I just did a fantasy football draft today. I've got another one on Wednesday. We play East Texas A&M.
All right,
I feel pretty good about that.
As long as you don't lose, then you're good. If you lose that one, then Alabama's probably terrible, and so are you.
Yep. We actually have a pretty tough schedule. We've got East Texas A&M and then Kent State. Those are fine. Then we've got Virginia, who could be good. We've got number 10 Miami in October.
Ooh, that's always, no matter what, that's a rivalry game.
Yeah, that's a super fun game. Man, when the Miami game's in Tallahassee, guys, it is just such a good time. I mean, the city gets nuts.
You know,
then we've got Pittsburgh, Stanford.
My whole life, I rooted for Miami or Florida over Florida State.
Yeah.
And then my son decided to go to Florida State. So now I root for Florida State over everybody.
I know.
So I'm a Seminole fan now. It's funny.
It's hard not to be.
Where your kids go, where your money goes, that's where your heart goes.
You didn't have any money go there, man. I got scholarships.
You got scholarships, but Mom and I gave you money. You talking?
Yeah, I think I had an allowance, guys.
1029 plan or something for you?
Yeah. I think I got to just pocket more, or maybe I used that money to pay, and then the scholarships got.
You did pretty good to get out of school without a debt.
Yeah. Well, I can't say this on the live. Never mind. I do have a little bit of debt, guys. I'm not going to talk about it on the live.
Paolo trying to buy a house in Isabella or Aguadilla.
Help to pay with rentals.
Rental.
Houses are expensive, even considering a new construction. Many lots don't have septic, electric. I think that in Isabella, a new construction is a good way to go.
We're renovating a duplex right now, Paula, in Aguadilla. It's maybe 8 or 9 minutes down the hill to, I think, is it called Crash Boat?
Yep.
Don will know.
Yeah.
But anyways, it also comes with a lot that you could put a tiny house on. So you could maybe live in the downstairs 2-bedroom, 2-bath, rent out the upstairs 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 3-bedroom, 1-bath. I'm not sure what it is. And then put one of these shipping container homes or factory built homes there. And we're tied into the grid, obviously. And it's, I think it's not septic. I think that it's city sewer, which is really good. So
That's super nice.
So that place could pay for it. And we're going to be asking probably like $289
For a duplex?
for a fully renovated duplex.
Is it a Airbnb type property or a long-term rental?
I think it's long-term rental, live in one unit, rent out the other. It
Yeah.
could be Airbnb, but it's not next to the water. So I wouldn't personally Airbnb it, but stranger things have happened.
Would you do seller financing?
I mean, we always would do seller financing on just about anything. We would do seller financing. Our terms are never going to be 0% interest and low money down, though.
None of those
We're
are-
looking at like a third of the money down and interest that's higher than the bank because we don't want to be the bank. But that's the terms that we would accept if someone wanted to buy something we've got. Generally speaking, whatever we're asking, a third of the money, 9% interest, and a few year balloon, maybe a 1 to 5 year balloon payment.
Basically enough time for them to go get a bank loan or figure out investors.
Or even wait for interest rates to come down, right? But
Yeah.
I don't want to be out there at 3% interest or 0% interest like we're buying in Connecticut and 9 years.
I don't know that we said that earlier, guys. Our 13 units in Connecticut we're buying, it's 0% interest. It's pretty
For
simple.
9 years.
For 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's just free money. When you factor in the cost of capital, which normally you don't really need to do because the cost of capital is always the same. You go to a bank, you go to investors, whatever. It is just so tremendous, this 0% stuff. Even 1%, 2% is amazing.
Yeah.
But when you get 0%, it just gives you so much power because the money's free. And you just have to keep it rented, pay down the loan, and you just build wealth. It's amazing, this 0% stuff. And it is out there, guys. I bought, this will be my second property this year at 0%. Have you bought any 0% stuff this year?
This year, no. The last thing I got at 0% interest was some land on the island. We did pretty well on it. We had 0% for a few years, and we managed to sell it with seller financing, not at 0%. And then we got paid off. They got paid off. Everybody won on that one, but we doubled our money on that.
You got to love that.
That was in Niquabo. That was 10 acres of oceanfront land in Niquabo.
Yeah, I remember that property.
I broke your mom's heart selling that. She
Yeah.
so much wanted to build a
Build a
house
house
and live there.
What are they doing with it? Building cabins or something?
They're gonna do the tiny house thing.
Yeah.
Off grid, some kind of off grid system because they're so close to the water. And then I think they're gonna do a hospitality.
Wow. And guys, we have some land for sale. If you are interested in land deals like this, I think they're bigger parcels though. What do you have? Laurez?
Yeah, Laurez. We have 45 acres in Laurez. Comes with 8. They're block built homes. They're small, 8 shells. It was zoned for and could probably be revitalized to be again a 210 unit neighborhood, but it's 45 acres of peaks and valleys and a little stream running through it. Just beautiful, beautiful land. So it could be, and I'm talking to a couple of people about going to look at it. Maybe to do a little off-grid tourism thing, farm to table type stuff. I just want to not be the one who has to do the lift. So on that one, we would bring in partners, or we would sell it, and we would do seller financing. So yeah.
Emmanuel's got a 0% deal, low money down. Emmanuel, let us know what it is.
Emmanuel?
I don't know.
How much would it cost to build a new 1,200 square foot home? Also, what's the average repair cost on a pretty beat up zombie house? I can tell you with a lot of clarity what it costs to renovate a 1,200 square foot zombie house that's pretty beat up. That's something we've done a lot of. I think that we are looking at about $140 to $160 a square foot ground up construction. Have not done it though. So on my grind, we have looked at this a few times and we just haven't pulled the trigger on it. But that's where it's coming in, $140 to $160 a square foot for a 1,200 square foot working class home. Obviously, way higher figures if you're going to do luxury stuff. So this is just, a modest home 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe a 1-car garage or a 2-car garage, 140 to 160 bucks a square foot. And that's a block. It's going to be just like everything else that's built here. Block ceilings, floors, everything is block.
Yeah.
Really well built. And it's about the same if you're building a 1,200 square foot factory house, like McKenna said. And then you've got land costs and engineering and all of that stuff too.
And for a zombie house, what do you think of the rent?
And for a zombie house, I think that you're going to renovate one of those zombie houses, depending on how bad of a zombie house it is. But let's assume you're going to new plumbing and electric, and everything we do, we're sealing the roof at the very least. But so sealing the roof, doors, floors, windows, kitchens, bathrooms, all the new plumbing and all the electric. We're at a $50,000 is a pretty good number to start on a 1,200 square foot zombie house like that. We're probably around 50 grand. That's what we would, if we were just analyzing a deal without having gone out there to see it, that's the number we would probably throw at it. It could go up or down if some things are good. So maybe there's some windows and doors that are savable, or floors. A lot of times on these beat up zombie houses, we've even found where bathrooms, they're old and dated, but the pipes still work and the tile on the walls and everything is still okay, and we save it. So you might be able to do it for as little as 30, 35,000, and it could obviously go up. Everything can be more expensive.
Absolutely.
And when we first came to the island, that same house we could do for 20 grand.
Poof. And that's why things get more expensive, guys.
And that's why things get more expensive.
Yeah.
In fact, my entire life, I could basically renovate just about any 1,200 square foot house for 30 grand, right up until COVID. And then it just shot through the moon.
Yeah.
It
It's
just
really
went
crazy right
crazy.
now, guys. And get lots of quotes. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that will triple charge you of what another person will do. So
Just a fair warning, when the prices went up so fast from COVID, it took me 3.5 years to figure it out. I kept getting kicked in the face because I thought I could still renovate it for 30, 35,000, and then I'd go up to 40 and it wouldn't be enough. And then I'd go up to 45 and it wouldn't be enough. Finally, 3.5 years later, I figured it out, and we just raised everything up to 50. So it went so fast, guys. It just, everything doubled overnight.
It does not slow down either, guys. It won't get cheaper ever again. Have you ever used business credit to obtain a property? And if so, how do you qualify for high limits? No.
So, I mean, we've used credit cards to buy foreclosures in Florida at the Brevard County Courthouse. So, yeah, I guess. I mean, we had a black card credit card, and we could go buy a house for 100 grand and put it on the credit card, and then pay for it in the next 30 days and not have to pay any interest. But really, that's not been a strategy that we use. We do not have a bunch of business credit lines. I could not tell you how to obtain high credit limits. I mean, I do have credit cards now, but after the market crashed in 2008, I got very debt averse, and I didn't even have a credit card until 2018. So I went a decade. I went 10 years where I was just like, I'm not borrowing any money for anything.
Yeah. Which is a good way to do it. And maybe we need to go back to that. Who knows?
It's either that or just go the other way and just get all the credit you can.
Yeah.
Like the government does. Print more money, you know?
They print their own money and then borrow it at 3%, 4%. I mean, it's a great deal for them.
Yeah. I'd love to hear if somebody else has an idea on how to get those high limits. There's a lot of people out there, and we've taught master classes even in our Apex group with a guy who specializes in how to use these 0% interest credit cards and to stack them up and then roll them so that you get 18 or 36 months.
So Actually, I know we said we don't really use
I'll be
business
right back.
lines credit, but we do borrow hard money, guys, is what it's called. And these are specific lenders for real estate projects that they will underwrite based on the deal. It's not based really on you, other than they want to know if you have experience, because that will get you a better rate. And they're going to be more secured. So you need experience, or you don't even need it, but it gets you better terms. And then they want you to have a little bit of skin in the game, 10 to 20% of the money they want you to put in. And other than that, it is completely based on the property. So if you're buying a flip, let's say it's worth $500,000 and you buy it for 200 and it needs 150 reno, which would be a massive reno. You're really rebuilding that house from the ground up. That's something you could go borrow hard money on. And there are national hard money lenders out there. There's a bunch in California. You can just Google them. We've got some private people in Apex, our premium membership. It's our group. Jeff Murphy is a good friend of ours, and he will do it for Florida. He won't go to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, it's very difficult to get hard money. There's not really very many lenders. Hard money doesn't cover 100% of the deal. So covering that is what I'm trying to solve. If you don't have the 10 or 20% to put down, I think that the best way to do it would be getting an investor. And maybe not using hard money at all and just going on a straight equity split where, let's say you buy a $100,000 building that needs 50, like that 1,200 square foot zombie house we were talking about, and then get an investor who's going to put up the money and they get half of the equity. That's the way we raise most of our money. We just do a straight 50-50 split, true partnerships. And we don't love debt. Now, debt can be super useful. It's just more dangerous. But on the flip side, if you use it right, you do make more money. So I would look at equity investors. We talk about equity investing. If you have questions about it, please put them here in the chat, and we'll keep going. Let me go back to the questions here. Kimberly Jackson, what does the crown and number next to our name mean? YouTube does that. I don't really know what it means. But On Me Grind is number one. He's the number one fan. I think you get points for every time you post or comment or like and subscribe. So if you guys want to be number one, put a lot of comments in. Don't spam, but put some comments in. Like the thing. Share the link. Please share the link with people. Anyone that you think would be interested. I mean, I'm sure you know someone else that would be interested in real estate content. So share that link out there. Wash my rug. My son played at Wake Forest for 5 years, November 1st game. I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. After this Alabama game, I feel like we are going to win against
National
Wake Forest.
champion. Here we come.
National champion. No, but, we could make the playoffs. There's now that it's the extended playoffs.
If you can win your league or even come runner up, you've got a really good chance.
I mean, if we win the ACC, we definitely go to the playoffs. I don't know if we're doing that, but maybe. I think we just need to beat 2 of 3 ranked teams. So we need to beat Miami, Clemson, and Florida. I think
Watch my rug had a son who played at Wake Forest for 5 years. Wow, that is such big time. That's incredible.
Is he in the NFL or is he trying to get drafted?
Or is he all done? Either way, that's impressive.
Yeah. I think if we beat Miami, Clemson, Florida, 2 of those 3 teams, we get to the playoffs even if we don't win the ACC.
As long as you don't lose any other games.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could even lose some other non-ACC games maybe, but there's no one else on here that I'm super worried about.
Yeah.
How many, what is it, 18 playoffs now or is it 16?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The Wake Forest dad knows, though.
Emmanuel says, I got a 0% interest, low money down. It is located in Puerto Rico.
Is this a new deal, Emmanuel?
It's a 4-unit San Juan Hato Rey.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at that. Have we looked at that on Shark Tank?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Emmanuel, did we look at that last week on Shark Tank, or are we going to look at that this week on Shark Tank? Let us know.
There's 12 teams in the playoffs. 5 highest ranked conference champions, and then 7 highest ranked teams that did not win their conference. I think it was a really good shot we make the playoffs, beating Alabama like that.
Yep.
I probably should just put in a sports bet.
Or I'm doing math wrong. 193K, or I'm doing math wrong. What?
That's about the new construction for 150 a foot at the 1,200 square feet.
I think that's right. So let's 1,200 times 150, 80, 1,200 times 165, 198. Yeah. I mean, that's seems high, but yeah, that's what we're being told. Plus, guys, keep in mind that's not including land costs, and I think there's probably soft costs there too. So you've got engineering, you might need to pay to have plans.
Yeah, building new is expensive.
Have permits.
Yeah, you got to figure out generators and solar.
It's expensive.
Grid.
And maybe you could find a crew that can do it a little bit cheaper, but that's what we've kind of been consistently told. And in Florida, that would be a great deal. Like if we could renovate something for $150 a square foot, or not renovate, build something for $150 a square foot, we'd feel pretty good about that.
Well, and that's what we're doing actually up in Ocala.
Right.
We got a quote for, I think it was $150 a foot, 3-bed, 2-bath. It's going to cost us $200,000 to build it, and it'll be worth $299.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty excited about that deal. We've got to talk to Scott. Scott, are you here in the audience? I think
Scott's coming to Puerto Rico next week.
I think so. Maybe you can help him fundraise while he's in town.
I will.
Yeah.
The menu has not showed it yet, so you want to show it tomorrow night?
And then your son was injured in the first spring game, towards ACL and MCL. Oof. And then on his 5th year, towards other ACL. That.
Oh, man.
In his 5th year, too.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow.
Emmanuel got it last Wednesday. Jose said, hey, have you had any luck with the cancellation of crim debts?
Juan Perlam, who is one of our good friends and someone we've done a lot of deals with, specializes in that. He's also, I think he's in Apex. He has been in Apex. He doesn't show up.
Yeah, he's in Apex. I don't think he checks it.
He doesn't check it. But if you reach out to him directly, he will do it, and he'll do it for other people for a fee. So I'm not sure what the fee is, but so there is a process that you can get crim debt canceled and pay. I think it's 5 years plus the current year. And so if it's, 7 years or more, you can get some of that stuff relieved.
The house is worth less than what's owed on it.
Oh, so which house are we talking about?
I think it's the 1,200 square foot zombie house.
Oh,
maybe. No, that was on my grind, right? Jose, this might be a new property. What's the property? You know what you could do too that I think is really fun? Get with someone like Juan to start having the crim debts forgiven, and then just buy the house from the heirs directly and give them, hey, I'm going to give you guys each like $2-3 grand, and I'm going to take over the debt, the crim. And then if it gets forgiven, it gets forgiven. If it doesn't get forgiven, you're on the hook for it. But then you get the house at a really great deal if you can get the debt forgiven. So something worth considering.
Yeah, and if they go through foreclosure, then the bank will be in the same position. They'll usually get, I think it's 5 years plus this year's that they'll have to pay, but the other stuff will get wiped out.
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking at a house that owes more than what it's worth, that's your hope, right? If you're saying that it owes more in taxes than what it's worth, you've got to hopefully get some of those taxes to go away.
Michael K says, what's your criteria when you do Airbnb? Since there's no financing available in PR, basically it's an all cash investment. If I self-manage, how much should I make on a percentage basis?
So I've done a fair share of Airbnbs, and I am not big on buying properties based on the hope of making a whole bunch of money on Airbnb. My criteria when I'm looking at doing something for Airbnb, I'm typically doing a massive renovation and taking something from its low current use. What's worked really well for us for the last 5 or 6 years is to buy distressed office that has a zoning that will allow me to turn it into an Airbnb apartment. On the occasion that I've been able to do that, and I've been able to do that about 35 or 40 times, I can buy the distressed office at a very low valuation because it's not ever going to be worth a ton as office ever again. And then we lift it up to become a nice Airbnb. So we've got 6 of them off of Juan Ponce de Leon in one building, and we've got 35 of them in another building. And we bought those things incredibly cheap. So the 6 on Juan Ponce de Leon, let's say, after a massive renovation and refiguring of the space, we might have $100,000 to $125,000 all in on the apartment, including purchase and renovation and furnishing and everything out the door. And then we're able to do the nightly rental and bring in $3,000 to $5,000 a month per apartment, and that's a damn good return on $125,000. I'm not the guy who goes and buys an apartment in Isla Verde at ESJ Tower, for instance, for $450,000 and tries to Airbnb it. I just don't see the math doesn't work for me. For me, it's all a math equation, and every investment that I do, when I'm looking for that monthly recurring revenue, some would call it rents, but it could be nightly rental or it could be just long-term rents. When I'm looking for the monthly recurring revenue, I'm looking at how much cash out of pocket am I going to have in the deal and how much income monthly am I going to net. And then I divide the smaller number by the bigger number, and it gives me a percentage, and that percentage tells me what I'm going to make as a return on my investment. And I'm looking for, on a long-term rental, we talked about this, or I talked about this with someone the other night, I'm really happy with the 25% annual return. And I think you can still get those, although it takes buying the dirty stuff, the nasty stuff, and doing a renovation. I'll look at them if it's going to be 20% or more. If I'm having to buy something, unless it's already actively cash flowing and I don't have to do any work, then I'll go down to like a 15% return. But if it gets lower than that, I'm just not a player. I'm not interested. And then if I'm going to do Airbnb, I'm going to expect hopefully double the returns that I just mentioned.
Yeah. So all of those numbers are based on long-term rents, and then the Airbnb is the upside. And the reason he does that, guys, is Airbnb is really fickle. You know, you might have a great unit, but it's in the wrong neighborhood by a block, and your comps just don't match up to what you do. And that gives you a really good safety net where you have these big upside returns, but worst case scenario, you just rent it out long-term and you're going to be just fine. When you're buying it for 15% on Airbnb, it's really tough if things go wrong.
That now, would you ever do that? I wouldn't say that I would never do that. So if I'm buying an existing property that has proven cash flow, and maybe I'm getting some seller financing, or I feel like I can go in and run it better and bring the cash flow up. Or the other scenario where I would look at something like that and have looked at those things is when the person who's operating it hasn't already gotten the 40% tax credit. So then I can take it through the tourism company and get it to become a guest house. Let's say it's 7 units or more. And I can take something that maybe someone's just been running on Airbnb and you're making a 15% return, but I can convert it into a guest house that qualifies for Act 60 tourism tax credits. And now there's some significant upside there. But even with that, I'd still rather do the renovation and buy it when it's distressed and cheap. And one thing that I've learned is that I don't love running hospitality projects. I kind of knew that about myself going in, but the money was so good that we've done it and we've had a lot of success with it. But that's not my dream, right? Like I've never wanted to sit back in my retirement days and run a small beachfront hotel with a restaurant or something. I know that's a lot of people's dream. And so I like to build those and then sell them to the person who wants the dream.
And that's what we were talking about before, the difference between an investment and like a vacation rental, something that you want to own to live in and make your life better. Because there's people out there where it's a non-monetary return on investment for the joy you get of running a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you get a great lifestyle.
I have a friend that likes to sit on the beach and sit in the sun and does that 200 days a year.
Yeah.
If I'm at a hotel looking at the water and I see the sand, for me that's a beach day. I don't want to go sit on the beach. Hardly ever. Like I'm a shade bather. I run from the sun. I'd much prefer being on a boat out on the ocean than to be sitting on the beach somewhere. So it's just not me.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're someone who does love that and you want to do hospitality, you want to interact with guests, and you want to make money doing it,
yeah,
you don't need a 40% return. You just need a lifestyle that pays for itself, and that's great.
Well,
That's
and
a
think
huge
about this
value to
too.
that.
When we're managing our Airbnb projects, we put a manager in place. So we have that expense.
Yeah.
And we usually don't do as good a job as someone else who comes in and takes it can do. So if it's your dream and you're doing it, you're going to manage it better than I ever will. And so you have that upside as well. That's something else that you could look at if you're interested in buying that. If you can buy something at a 12 cap, but then you can take over the management and you put that money in your pocket, that becomes pretty nice too, because you get that lifestyle, you get to live that dream, and you're making decent money.
Absolutely. All right, on to the next one. One last question. So I have a house I bought in 2014. It was a foreclosure for $40K. I think it's worth $240. So my question is, what's the best way to get that equity out without selling? And it's in North Carolina.
Without selling, and
So
you're in North Carolina. So assuming the house is in good shape and probably rented, you could probably just go borrow money from the bank.
Yeah.
And pull all of the money out.
I think there's two great options. There's the home equity line of credit, which maybe is a little bit more, but you can pay the money in and out. You can draw on the money and refund the money, and then you're not always paying interest. Or you can just go get a mortgage, and they'll give it to you.
A regular cash out refi. You could even do a DSCR loan.
Yeah.
Which would be a quick and easy if you don't want to have to show all of your books and everything, and maybe your credit's not perfect. They'll lend against the rents.
I think a local credit union is the way to go for a line of credit. I think you got to keep that local. Maybe that's not true. We have a great mortgage broker in Apex. I think you're in Apex on my grind. I'm not sure who you are, but I don't. I think that you are. William Halleck. He's on the vendor list. He's in all 50 states. He can help you out. So give him a call.
Yeah, I love that you have this tons of equity and you're in the States. It should be easy for you to tap into the equity.
Yeah.
If you ask the same question on the island of Puerto Rico, you have to sell it.
Yeah. Or you get investors. Okay, I lied. One last question on the 180K house in Puerto Rico for rent to own. What is the proper rent to offer to the seller? What is the proper rent to offer to the seller? So let's say you're putting 10% down, so 18K down. Also, I would try and get it deeded into your name. It's way better to have it in your name versus in their name as a rent to own. So I would do it as a seller finance with a first note position that they're creating for you. But let's say you do 10% down. So you're borrowing 162 plus closing costs, whatever that is. This is where it gets negotiable. If you're borrowing from us, you would pay 9%. So on a seller finance like this. So that'd be $14,500 a year in interest. That's $1,215, and I'd probably throw that into a 30-year AM. So you're probably looking at $1,800, $1,900, something like that. Now, what's so amazing though is that you can offer any interest you want up to 0%, which is where I would start. So if you borrow 162 at 0%, And let's say you do a 20-year AM on that. That's like $675 a month directly to principal. And you probably have a balloon in year 5 or year 7 or year 9, whenever it is. But you can see how different that is. If you're able to get the 0% interest, your payment's significantly less. It goes directly towards principal. I mean, it's huge to do it that way. So if you can get 0%, 1%, 2%, just throw it in a amortization calculator and it'll calculate a payment for you that's fair for everybody. Let's see. Miguel says, I found a property in Ponce for $40,000 with 2 floors. Each floor rents for $500. Love that. I talked to a hard money lender, and they are requesting $670 plus credit score and $5,000. My debt to income is 53%, no banks. I wonder if that's something we could talk to you about, Miguel. We might be able to help you.
So you're trying to borrow 40 grand?
He's trying to borrow 40 grand.
And you get $1,000 a month coming in?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, Miguel, definitely. Yeah, he is. Reach out to us. We could definitely talk to you about something. Whether we know someone that could help or we'll figure it out. No guarantees, but we'd love to talk to you about it.
I mean, golly, I just, you know what's so cool? He found a $40,000 house in 2025 that brings in $1,000 a month.
In
return,
yeah,
the return on that is sick.
It's awesome. And then if you borrow the money, I mean, geez.
So
let's say your payment
$4,000 a year. Let's say you net 10.
Yeah,
he's got a 25% return, and sounds like he doesn't have to do any work. That's pretty good.
And then if you borrow the money, let's say you put $4 grand down or the $5 grand down that they're talking about. So if you make, and your payment's $500 a month, so you're netting like, I don't know, $3 or $4 grand a year. You have like 100% turn on your leveraged money. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Even with hard money rates at a handful of points, say it's 6 points and 15% on 40,000 or 35,000, it doesn't matter on this deal.
Yeah.
So first of all, great job finding it. And second of all, you got to make sure that you get that done.
Yeah. So. Miguel, reach out to us either on probably WhatsApp is best, but school would be good too. Just send us a DM. We'll have a call. Seth, hey, Rob, I would love to hear your story on what it took for you to dig yourself out of the hole after the 2008 housing market crash.
All right. I'll give you the 3-minute and we'll make this the last question because this is what it took. I went broke basically about 1.5 years or 2 years before the rest of the world. And this is just completely God's timing is all it was. So for me, the water faucet turned off in the summer of 2006. McKenna and his sister and his mom and I, we went on a mission trip and we were in Europe. And during that mission trip was the first time in forever we didn't have a real estate closing. And I remember that this is like summer to fall of 2006, and I thought, oh, it'll happen next month. And I went month after month after month, didn't have any money for 2 years. I didn't make any money. By the summer of 2008, I was penniless broke, but everyone else was starting to go broke at that time. And I had a couple of good friends that said, hey, Robbie, I know you're going through it. You had a hard time. Let's go back to the foreclosure sale and start buying again. And so one of my really good friends to this day is Scott Franklin. He basically saved us. We started going to the foreclosure sale towards the end of the summer of 2008. And again, it was all about God's timing. So he had some money. We started making money again while other people were losing money. And that meant that we were buying houses at the foreclosure sale at the point where everybody else was completely broke. And it just, with the grace of God and God wanted to teach me a lesson, I guess. I prayed the prayer that God just teach me the lesson one time, and that's why I went to where I was so debt averse for such a long period of time, because I never want to go through that again.
And,
But that's what it took. It took a good friend who backed me, and luckily I had a skill set that I was still able to call upon, and yeah, that's what we did.
Okay, well, it's where I am.
I think that's a good point at the end there. The skill set is what got you out of it.
Is there a way to look at it before I?
That's what we're always trying to talk on here, guys.
Because I
Like,
already
we are
had-
building skill sets
And then we decided.
that you can use to do one house a year, or you could use to do 100 houses a year. But you'll always have that skill set. You'll always be able to use it. And that investment in yourself
Right there.
is the biggest, most important return you can get. I mean, if you are, watching Netflix every day, which is fine. I watch way too much Netflix probably, but if you're not building those skill sets and you're just watching Netflix, you're not going to make progress. You're not going to move in 10 years. You're going to be in the same place. And it can be any skill set. It doesn't even have to be real estate. It could be, go high level. Learning in the CRM is a huge skill set. Learning this AI stuff is a huge skill set. We just got the Alex Hormozi $100 million money model book and package. And he's got 12 different skill sets in there. And I'm pretty sure that any one of those 12 could get you from broke to rich pretty quick. Our sales guy, Marcus, our onboarding guy, he read the closing book, and his last 3 sales, he's at 100% close rate. It's incredible.
There's a Don.
And he can take that skill set and do it in anywhere that needs sales. And there's always going to be salesmen. There's always going to be real estate guys. I think there's always going to be AI guys, but we'll see, I guess. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, thanks for that question too. I think I've told that story before, and one day maybe I should interview Scott Franklin, because we still talk like every week. And I do agree with what you're saying, McKenna. Stacking skill sets has been what has enabled me to get to the point where I went from dead broke in 2008 to paying for things with houses, and thinking, a mindset shift completely of that we no longer pay for things in dollars. We pay for things in what does it cost us as far as a house, or how much rental income do we need to pay for something. So you guys, what he's talking about, when you become an entrepreneur, when you become a real estate investor, going through it, doing those deals, even if the first few aren't as successful as you want them to be, you build and you grow, and you become somebody who just now knows how to make money doing this, and you can do it again and again and again and again. So if that's your dream, you're in the right spot. Hopefully you've already liked this little live that we're doing. Subscribe to the channel, and by all means, come be part of our Flip Flop Flipper community over on School. And I think, McKenna, that's it, man.
I think so.
This is Monday Night Live number 83, I think.
Woo. Power Hour is back.
The Monday Night Power Hour is back. We've done this 83 freaking times. So we'll see you for number 84 next week.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Awesome.
This is Emmanuel, and in just 3 weeks, he found the deal of a lifetime, negotiated an offer, got it accepted, found the EMD from a third party, me, and then found the buyer to sell it. Now, how did he do all of that? He's a member of the Flip Flop Flipper Apex community. And inside of Apex, he was able to find the buyer who's an operator. He was able to find someone who wanted to put up the money, and he's got the deal of a lifetime done, and is going to make $40,000 on his very first deal. So if that sounds good to you, and you want to be like Emmanuel, comment Apex, and I'll send you the link.